Guten Tag, meine sehr verehrten Damen und Herren. Es freut mich sehr, Sie hier begrüßen zu dürfen. Ich präsentiere 50 plus Döner.
Hello. Hi. It feels weird coming on after Pokal. Wait, hello? Oh, okay. Hello. Is the audio not working? Time to find out. Hello? Oh, it is working. What? That was a very okay. I'm always scared of having audio issues on this fucking show. I do have bad news for you. I know on the title of the show, um, we said that there would be Microsoft Paint. Unfortunately, I am killing off Microsoft Paint time forever. I know. I know. Microsoft Paint time was fun, but we're replacing it with something else. I just feel like the show drags when we do Microsoft Paint, and then we don't even talk about every game, so it kind of feels a little dumb. But we have something different that we're going to do this time. But Microsoft Paint, thank you for. Yes, I cannot predict any more scores wrong. Yeah, it had nothing to do with me being scared of looking like a dummy like I did last week when I said Dortmund was going to win 2-1, and they absolutely did not. Um, let's just jump into it. What's been going on Twitter? Uh, I'd had a very long meeting with Microsoft. Oh, that sounds awful. Definitely, I imagine at one point during it you said this could have been an email. Oh yeah, Dortmund versus Manchester United is going to be on in. Why did it say 30th of July? Oh, it's on sale. Ticket sales today. Is this gonna sign into my Ticketmaster account? Great. $75 isn't that bad. This is what I usually do for tickets for places I haven't been to yet. I do a view from my seat. It's a pretty nice, it's pretty neat thing. So we can do I didn't spell it right. Lol. Yeah, if you don't know about the site, I would definitely not buy tickets anywhere without looking them up on this site. Where was it? 400 level. So I mean, that's not for soccer. That kind of sucks, actually. Does it? I think it looks fine. But yeah, those tickets are $75 for the cheapest, which is not considering the worst view you can possibly have, and then considering the two teams that are playing, not off. Oh, as long as you're not getting, as long as you're not doing a 100 level, then you should be fine. Yikes! I can't imagine paying $150 to watch a friendly for the tickets themselves. I know I paid more than that to watch Golden, but whatever. Uh. People calling Thomas Mueller is the underrated. I don't think he is, but I guess if you're a Premier League team fan, you probably don't. You probably think he's underrated. Jeremy Frimpong is looking at going to Bayern, and then we have our two games. Oh, Hertha's starting their own women's team, which is pretty cool. And then racism, and nobody laughed at this. I thought it was very funny. Going to be a block 241 at the Allianz, and the seats aren't too bad. That's not too bad, yeah. Wait, what was the actual tickets cost for Calm? $40 for where we were, and we were like at field level. Taking over. I should have clarified on that. They're taking over an existing women's team. Where are they? This Hertha Zehlendorf. $40. Yeah, $40 for like we were pretty much first row. All right. what do we want to do? First, let's do the Pokal, the men's Pokal. That was this yesterday and Tuesday. The Final Four is a little interesting. So we have Freiburg. Freiburg beat Bayern in Munich for the first time ever. I thought it was like, oh, Christian Streich, first time ever he beat Bayern, like, in Bavaria. No. This is the first time they beat Bayern ever. Has a team ever won a Pokal and gotten relegated in the same year? I actually don't know. And that's a lot of research that I should have done before this. But, yeah, I guess we can really... that is a great question. This is gonna take this would take forever. I mean, most of them are like Bayern anyway. Like Schalke wouldn't have got relegated this year. Bremen wouldn't have got relegated this year. Maybe Nuremberg was relegated. I didn't go to the year. 2006, 2007. 2006, 2007. So no. None of them would have been relegated. Maybe Stuttgart. I'm gonna guess no. It's on quick research. I'm just like looking at it. I'm gonna guess no. Oh. Maybe Hanover. What was this? 91? 91. They usually have seasons. There we go. 91. So I guess never relegated. But there has been, like, second round team. So I'm going to guess no for, like, relegated and then also winning the cup. But they're getting close. And it's been a while. I mean, Stuttgart's been in the finals, and this is the best they've done since they were in the finals. Freiburg, I mean, they're starting to do good right now, right? They might make it to the final for a second year in a row, which is incredible considering they hadn't even been to the finals before in general. And then Frankfurt made it. Eintracht Frankfurt. They won the finals. I think they're Leipzig's most recent finals, but it's interesting. We had it last year was the first year that like Bayern and Dortmund weren't in the finals for a while, and now we have it again this year. I really do think the Pokal's getting better, but Eintracht hasn't been there in a while. This first round loss was pretty funny. And then Leipzig, I thought their cup history was very funny. It's only been like 12 years, but they've been to the finals. I completely forgot about this final, but they've been to 3 finals now in the past 5 years, which is kind of crazy. We could have a repeat of last year. When is the draw for this, actually? It's probably like this weekend, right? Yeah, this weekend on the 9th. Interesting. What matchups do you guys want? I think most fans are gonna want to play Stuttgart. Oh, this is important too. Actually, this is super important. If you're a Leverkusen fan or something, there is no team. Jesus Christ! Holy shit! I just looked up regular fucking tables. Oh my god. 7th. So, basically, as this will say here, yeah. Should the DFB Cup for winners, and it's an old article, but still relevant right now. Should they win Pokal? Should they win the Pokal? Sorry, 7th place would consequently become a second qualifying round for Europa League. This is an old article, so it'd be Europa Conference League. So if you're like Leverkusen or Mainz or Wolfsburg, you absolutely do not want Stuttgart to win. Because if Stuttgart wins, they go to Europa League. And 7th place goes nowhere. So the odds are very low, right? If you're a betting person, I don't know what the odds are on Stuttgart winning the Pokal, but they're probably very high or low. I kind of want Leipzig and Freiburg to play each other before the final. And then I personally, as a shit starter, I would want Freiburg and Stuttgart in the DFB Pokal finals because that is a derby, technically. And I don't think we've had a derby final in a very long time. I would say since like the 80s, just off the top of my head. I mean, they're close by. I guess this isn't a derby though. Yeah, there hasn't really been teams that close to each other playing each other in the final. I mean, they're not the same city, but still, I mean, they are technically rivals, so I think that would be fun. But Der Klassiker is a derby, yeah. Wait, where is it? If you ask ESPN, yeah, good qualifier. But yeah, the first few games will be May and the May 2nd. So let's just look real quickly who this like inserts itself in between. So for Stuttgart, they already have to be on point for the rest of this season. It would fall in between Gladbach and an important game with Hertha Berlin. They're in a shit situation because they need to win this game, and they also kind of need to win in the Pokal too. That's a shitty situation. Yeah, I know every Hertha fan probably like, hell yeah. What would it be for Leipzig? So Leipzig would play whoever they're gonna play before Freiburg. So my favorite thing about Pokal games is when there's like double games. So they would play. I'm gonna do a 50+ donor guarantee. Because of this, I guarantee you Freiburg's gonna draw Leipzig. If it's wrong, please come on the show and boo me. I will invite you to a voice chat and you can boo me for like a minute. I guarantee you they're gonna draw Freiburg. So I guess we don't really have to look up Freiburg's schedule. Who would Frankfurt be playing at this time? Bayern Gladbach is the true Der Klassiker. That is not wrong. They would be playing so they've got it pretty easy. They can just not give a shit about this game. Although they are kind of fighting a little bit to stay up here. So it's not they can't give a shit about it. I think they're not going to be super worried about splitting up their squad. Especially if they're already going to be trying to be in Europe anyway, so. Interesting stuff. Very interesting. All right, you want to see what we replaced? This is what we replaced it. The 50+ donor watchability rankings. This way we can touch on every single game for the weekend, just very lightly even. And I also leave this with, like, even if it's a bad game, you still know it's a bad game, you know. So first we go with Dortmund Union. It should be good. Both teams are kind of on a slide right now. Where's the form table? Union Berlin is not... They're both not sliding, technically. But I think if you're Dortmund, this loss kind of really sucks. In congruence with the Pokal loss they have. So they have their first two losses or consecutive losses of the year. And they're playing a team that is... Oh. Kavern won with the sub. With the gifted sub. Thank you so much. Appreciate it big time. If you're an Union fan, are you nervous about this game? I don't think so. Yeah, they're still... It feels like they're... I always think if I get this up, we can get more people talking. Yeah, it's been a slow chat today, but I mean, it's not going to be big every time. And plus, I mean, some people don't want chat. It's fine. Union is on a streak, but it's been... And they played good teams, actually, other than Stuttgart. I just think Dortmund's going to be wanting this to be a statement win, because I think with losing to Bayern the way they did, and then losing to Leipzig the way they did. Leipzig, they played awful in that fucking match. 2-0 is actually kind of a deceptive scoreline. It was not a good game. It's hard to not say that this should be like a good game, though. Let's change this to should be good. Okay? Either from here. Should be good. Freiburg versus Bayern, absolute must watch. But if you saw like the quotes from Bayern after their loss against Freiburg, they were not happy about this whatsoever. And the fans weren't happy because here's the thing. They got Nagelsmann because they were in the situation where they had a treble. They already are now down to a double, and they play Manchester City still. And they have more games in Champions League anyway. So they already kind of fucked up their whole point of getting rid of Nagelsmann in the way they did, because they have less cup competitions now. Freiburg also felt kind of disrespected by Bayern players' reaction. I would too. The fact that it was a fair match, and the penalty was very fair. It wasn't... They got a penalty at the end if you didn't watch. Freiburg got a penalty because... I don't know what Musiala was thinking, but he jumped like with both of his arms over his head. That was really weird, like in the box. Musiala got the handball, and then of course Freiburg with a great penalty to get it up, to get the win in the last like fucking minute. The reactions were all on like Twitter and like talking to Dive and stuff like that. So I almost want to make it game of the weekend, but I have a little. I think. Game of the... we'll revisit that. Mainz versus Bremen. I think you can probably miss this. Bremen... I think the magic's kind of wearing off for Bremen a little bit. If you look at their form. They're not... Their one win in the last... 2 months was against Bochum. And this was when Bochum wasn't looking like world beaters like they are. I think the magic's starting to fall off a little bit with Bochum, and with Bremen, and I don't think they're going to get it back against Mainz. Mainz is deceptively having an amazing season right now, honestly. They're on this little streak in the same time frame that Bremen's been falling off, and they're in 8th place. They've had the 3rd best form in the last 5 games. I bet we could even go like further back, and they'll be up there. You got to give it to Bo Svensson. Bo Svensson is an incredible manager. He just, for some reason, in the second half of the season, he just is able to like get his team spurred on. I think you can miss this because I think there's not a chance that Bremen wins this. I think Mainz is going to win. Augsburg versus Köln. They're usually annoying fucking games to watch if you're a Köln fan. For some reason, Augsburg just has Köln's number. Some of the... In fact, I bet we could look this up. Augsburg, Köln, penalty. I hope I don't get copyright strike. I'll just turn off the sound so I don't get copyright strike. We had this moment of this penalty... When are they going to show it what Hitz was doing to it? Like, this is basically the entire, like, season series. This is how Köln and Augsburg games go. They're just really gross games and really, like, anti-soccer. But it should be alright. And it's very important, too, because if you look at the overall table as well, wherever it is, get this over here. if you look at the form table, or the table in general, these two are right next to each other, and the bottom's kind of catching up. I wouldn't want to lose this, basically. So it's a must-win for both teams. The only thing keeping it from, like, absolute must-watch is just, if you're a neutral, the soccer is just fucking awful in these games. St. Pauli and Heidenheim is a must-watch. We'll get to that. Leverkusen, Frankfurt, must-watch. Who wins this, I'd say, would save them from possible... This is... So, to go back to Augsburg Köln, this is a game where at the end of the year, you really are like, fuck, we should have won that game. Because those points are going to be important. Who is their last game against? Oh, Gladbach, so it's not. It's more so for Köln's sake, because their last game is against Bayern, and you never know what the league's going to look like there. Bayern might need to win that one. Hertha versus Leipzig. Oh, no. Leverkusen, Frankfurt. How is... No, this is actually a big game. Yeah, this is a big game. 6 and 7... And Leverkusen could just get directly in a European spot. Ooh. Oh, this is going to be a good one. They're on a Leverkusen on a 4-game winning streak, which is super key. I know Frankfurt's form is going to be disgusting. Yeah, they have... So, this is a direct game for Frankfurt to show if they're serious or not, I think. I think they're going to... They have the disadvantage of coming off of a Pokal game, which sucks, but... They're going to need to win this. And Leverkusen, it's a case of like Leverkusen wanting to win this really badly and Frankfurt needing to win this. So I think this is absolute must-watch game. 100%. I don't even know who would win this, but this is the problem with killing Microsoft Paint. We're not really talking about like who's going to win and who's not. Hertha Leipzig... Both teams are just playing so fucking awful right now. Like, Leipzig had their moment against Dortmund. But their league form is kind of disappointing right now, too, if I'm not mistaken. They have 2 losses, and they're embarrassing losses. But... I mean, even if Leipzig wins, like, you kind of figure they need to win this, right? So I think you can just totally skip this game. What is Hertha doing? If we lose by less than 2, I'll be happy. I mean, if you're Hertha, don't you kind of need to, like, start thinking these are must-wins? Especially with this schedule coming up. You have direct relegation candidates, and then you have, like, Bayern, and you have Wolfsburg. Don't you kind of need a point to get a point out of this game? I would think so. But, I don't know. This game is, I think this is also the late game for some fucking reason. We never get a point against Leipzig. It's the late game for some reason. Yeah, you can skip this, man. I hate doing this, but what is going on in the Premier League? Is there, like, a better game on at that time? Yeah, no, there's no chance I watch this game. I'm not even going to watch this, but I don't think this is going to be a competitive game. I think you can definitely skip this one. I'm going to tailgate the Brewers game instead. I would love to tailgate for a baseball game right now. The weather is incredible in the Midwest. Is winter finally over? Alright, Gladbach, Wolfsburg. Gladbach's just such... Here's the thing about Gladbach. I could put this as, like, must-watch, or I could put this as cure for insomnia. Gladbach is just so on and off. I was expecting them to score this past weekend, and they did not do it. They're just all over the fucking place right now. They haven't won in a bit. But, I mean, like... Yeah. Well, this is another match that like Wolfsburg kind of needs to win too, honestly, because if I'm not mistaken, where did the other table go? Jesus Christ! My computer about to crash. Am I still on? Okay, good. For a second there, my like PC was making noises like it was gonna crash. Wait, can you just? Yeah, what is? Okay, this is a bad time for Transfer Mark to be slowing up. So, Wolfsburg needs to win this just to keep up with everyone around them, and this is kind of a winnable game because it's Gladbach. I'm just gonna put should be good to cover my bases. Bochum Stuttgart. I hate to tell you, I think this game of the weekend. I think it's a must-watch. There's a different game of the weekend that I would put on here. Bochum is looking pretty good. Bochum's looking not too shabby. What's their form in the last 5 games has to be like? Yeah, for them being a relegation candidate, this is great form. A win, and a draw in the last 3 for them, considering their goal differential, not too shabby. Mine's Bremen possibly miss? Yes, sooner Werder. I think so. You must have just came in. I think it's because I only put it as probably can miss because Bremen is just playing so awful right now. I think if they were in better form, I would put this as should be good. But I think Mainz is just going to steamroll them. Bochum Stuttgart, though. Bochum, I think, when we talk about Köln Augsburg and the winner of that being like they're probably going to stay up, I think this win would at least make the conversation not 100% on them to get out of things. You know, I think if they win, they can start hoping that these two start fucking up, or they can kind of like look at this a little bit from like a higher point, especially because Hoffenheim and Schalke are playing each other and they're directly playing Stuttgart. So I think for them, this really, I wouldn't 100% put the conversation out of them, but we aren't having the same conversation about them as we are these 3 of like they need to win or they're doomed. I think Bochum can kind of, if they win this, have games where they mess up. I mean, let's look at the remaining schedules they have, right? Not the easiest. So these are the games that are around where they are, like Stuttgart, like Hertha, like Augsburg. Those are 100% must win because you don't know if you're going to get points out of these. Even though the teams that are up top, they have gotten 4 points against, which it could, I mean, maybe they can keep up with Union. Maybe they can keep up with at least Gladbach. So that's interesting. Stuttgart, I know I'm making the opposite argument that I just did with Bremen of like they're not playing well, but because they have to win, like Bremen doesn't have to win, right? They're just mid-table, and that's fine. But like Stuttgart needs to start winning a game. It's just the truth. They're in a similar situation where they play 3 more people, really 4 that are around them. They're not going to be, well, with Dortmund, anything can happen. They just need to start winning some games. For them to be in the place that they are and not have won a game since Köln, who just is fucking garbage, they're going to regret it. They need to start showing some promise. They have a new manager bump, which I don't know if you saw that. Like they They have Sebastian Hoeneß now from Hoffenheim, ironically enough. But I got like the stakes are just very high for this one. Same with Hoffenheim Schalke. The works that our best friend Pellegrino Matarazzo is doing is finally working. Honeyus. I don't know how to... It's an S set. That always defeats me. For... Who is this? Hoffenheim? For Hoffenheim, these are encouraging wins, right? They're still not completely out of it, right? Just a word joke like Honey Honus. Yeah, I'm messing up. It's just a game they need to win. It's similar to Schalke. There's not really much to say about this game other than it's a must. And I think what the good thing about like schedule wise, if you're like looking at your weekend schedule and being like, well, I mean, I can only watch so many games. All of these games are going to be on Sunday, which is really nice actually. I think this is going to be a great like 2 games to watch in a row, because it's just going to affect the table so much, like bottom of the table so much. And both 4 of these teams are going to know exactly what they need to do to win. They're gonna know where their situation is after watching the rest of this weekend. So I think that's a great slate of games to be watching. The rest of these 3. So if you don't know, are two. Don't play anything. Okay. Are 2 games of the Zweite Bundesliga, wherever it is. Damn, that's way down there. Our 2 games of the Zweite Bundesliga are very early. One is Hamburger versus Hanover, and then Darmstadt versus Paderborn. I don't know if you've been looking at the Zweite Bundesliga in general, but it is involving Hamburg Hanover. I don't know why that was the game that they chose, which is why we're going to jump over those 2, and we're going to put St. Pauli Heidenheim as our game of the weekend. It's a must-watch. Now, you might be like, well, Jake, it's not on the Live and Upcoming. Well, to that I say, there's other ways you can go about this. But you didn't hear that from me. By any means necessary, I would watch this game. Because, have you seen Hanover's form? I mean, St. Pauli's form right now? They're just in 4th. And you're like, okay, cool. Brother! Look at this garbage. Holy shit, what is in the water with St. Pauli? They haven't lost a game all year. Really, they haven't lost since November. But I mean, there was World Cup and stuff like that. But they are just absolutely... They were in 15th place to start the year. And now they're in 4th. Heidenheim is in 2nd. This is a game that they kind of need to win, too. I mean, they've been steady, too. They're on a streak. Yada, yada, yada. But, like...
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Tanuki Zoot, thank you for the sub. 14 months. Highly appreciate it, man. Hopefully I can go up to Madison really soon. I'm going to try to go up for the... what's it called? U.S. Open Cup game. And now they play other big teams with everything to gain and nothing to lose. Yeah, there is no fucking way I'd want to play St. Pauli right now. St. Pauli's just playing to fuck around, right? Like, when you look at the table, there's still a 6-point difference between them and the top, right? I mean, they could... Like, they're not, like... They don't have the pressure of, like, oh, now we need to be, like... in the relegation, in the promotion playoffs. They're kind of just playing just to play right now. And I would definitely not want to play. There's no way I'd want to play them on this form. What is the rest of their schedule like? Oh, yo. Shit. That's gonna... If they win these 2 games... And Hamburg... What's Hamburg's form? Oh no, they're starting to do the Hamburg. Oh, dude. If this game... I need to zoom in again. I need to let you know I'm serious. If this game is not on ESPN Plus, I'm going to personally drive to ESPN headquarters and knock on their door and throw eggs at the headquarters. There's no way this game should be on anything that's not national. They should put this on ABC. I know I'm talking crazy, but I mean, seriously. But back to what we were doing. Speaking of Hamburg, Hamburg's in kind of losing form. Hanover's mid-table. Like, I mean, it's at 5 in the morning. Like, come on now. But Darmstadt Paderborn is Paderborn isn't exactly, like, out of it right now. They're in a similar situation to St. Pauli. Are we looking at their form right now? No, we're not. What's they've got to be on a wild form, too. Not really. It should be good, but I mean, it's at 5. It's at 5 in the morning, my time in Central. But it should be good. We're going to take a picture of that and then put it in the post follow-up. Alright. Time for something that I put a ton of work into. Oh, before we do this, someone anonymous... This is just like story time just for everybody. Someone anonymously shared this to me over the weekend. They are a Bayern, like, in the Bayern hierarchy. They had a crowd for the Der Klassiker on Saturday. You know, the game everyone couldn't shut up about. They posted a video of their president doing the goal announcements after the chants, and they, like, did the song that they did. I hope they didn't do Can Can. But DFL reported them for copyright. Because in the background, you could see the match was on for a couple of seconds. Bro, what the fuck? Dude, why doesn't this fucking league want us to fucking advertise for them? In their biggest game of the year, they're gonna pull this horse shit? Dude, no. For everything else, like every other bullshit thing they did, like people sharing highlights and stuff, fine. But this is fans like going to their bar, having fun, and showing people how fun it is to be a Bayern fan, and you're gonna fucking report them for copyright in the biggest game of the year, supposedly? Come on, man. I'm shocked I haven't even got a copyright strike. I watch videos on here all the time. If they knew I existed, they would definitely copyright strike me. But this was a funny meme shared by one Ryan Lammy. It's exactly right? Like, the Bundesliga is going to bitch and have these partnerships with NFL and stuff to try to pump up the game. But they can't even do the basic stuff, like let fans do free shit for them. It's really frustrating. I just wanted to show that, because I did tell him I was going to share it anonymously. But this is just embarrassing, and I think it's the number one thing. Yeah, the NFL did worse stuff than your fans are doing. They destroyed the turf in that game. Cameron's 100% right. They destroyed the pitch for that Bayern game. I mean, you can't just let fans just fucking have fun. Come on. It's embarrassing. Alright, I put a lot of work into this, so you basically have to laugh, okay? It was a cold winter night, and I was in my office just hanging around, looking around, enjoying life. There's a knock on my door. Who could it be? It's my assistant. 50 plus donor. A new case has come in. Scram, Toots. What's the details? Someone told me about Bundesliga and U.S. partnerships. Well, we're on the case today. We're going to be looking up Bundesliga U.S. partnerships. Now get me a whiskey, broad. Alright, enough of that. I spent like 30 minutes on that. Did someone whisper LAFC? Alright, I actually put a ton of work into this, so you kind of have to laugh. These are all the U.S. Bundesliga partnerships that I was able to find. It's like, I guess it's a lot, and some of them are ourselves, but we're going to look into why these even exist sometimes. And that's when he walked in. Bruno Labbadia. I should have done more of that. So we always make fun of this one. This one actually, I think, had at least some kind of result. So, this video is fucking funny, too. I'm gonna turn off the sound so I don't get copyright strike. But, like, are these the only videos of, like, Hoffenheim fans that exist out there? Anyway, there has been, FC Cincinnati Hoffenheim transfer. I know there has been a transfer, with, I hope it says it here. Why is it just comparing clubs? That is kind of funny, actually. Oh, they've had one transfer? I thought they had another. FC Cincinnati got a single player for half a season from Hoffenheim, and I didn't think it... Yeah, it's probably this dude right here. So there's no... Okay, we're gonna also rate them working? No. Like, Hoffenheim's only gotten worse since this, and I guess FC Cincinnati is doing better every year. But, like, in the language of this, we strive for a diverse partnership that not only... Like, I'm just kind of spoiling the rest of this. I don't see the point of these, honestly. Yeah, Rosen, who is the director of football, maybe at the time, this is an opportunity for players to move between the two clubs. And there's been one person who was alone. So maybe that partnership we're going to put as a no for not working. Who was it? Was it this person? Does that sound familiar? American football fans don't give a hoot about your football, let alone. Yeah, you're going ahead to the NFL, to the Carolina Panthers one, but it doesn't look like they really this one person really did anything. I thought there was someone else though. Or maybe that was like a rumor. I'm pretty sure it was a rumor, and like, they shot it down because his partnership's not working. Milwaukee Torrent, which I don't even know what. Shout out to Protagonist. I don't even know what division they're in, but what I will say is they have a sleeve sponsor for. Yes, Kunisla put it 100% right. I think this is working because if you look at Bayer Leverkusen Torrent, we didn't even put Torrent there. They have like soccer camps and shit. This is even as soon as 2013. They're doing it in tandem with them, and there's like current shit. In fact, there's a lot of results. They're even like doing partnership stuff like this from 2015. You know what I mean? Andreas Davi, I think, was like played for Leverkusen or something like that. Oh, it says in here. Yeah, he played for Bayer Leverkusen's like youth academy. So it makes sense that they would have a good partnership. I'm going to say this is working. Like, really what you can see, if Hoffenheim and Cincinnati, like, if Cincinnati had soccer camps, or like a developmental partnership with Hoffenheim, I would say it's working. But like Milwaukee Torin and Leverkusen, I think are legitimately, and it helps that like the owner of the club was already working with Leverkusen just in general. But I mean, it's a good partnership. Yeah, he had worked with the German academy player for the last 2 years. Yeah, I think that's really cool for like a team like not a non MLS team to have that kind of partnership is really cool. LAFC Bayern, I mean, it just started. And, like, if we're being real, wear random scarf, my bad. Oh! Oh, it's Tennis Borussia. Tennis Borussia. What? FC Dallas gave Chris Richards. Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, this only really is, if we're being 100% real, this is only happening because they didn't like get to like cheap out with Dallas as much. Like Dallas was playing hardball with their transfers. I think Bayern just kind of thought they'd be like a feeder team, and like Dallas was playing hardball with a bunch of players. So I think they just were like, all right, we're going to move on. The FC Hollywood, this doesn't help the FC Hollywood allegations at all. But let's read some of the things that they do. FC Bayern will expand its promotion of young talents with LAFC. On the international level, soccer, yeah, a bunch of bullshit, right? I don't know why they're all. I don't know what the New York office has anything to do with this, but they mentioned that the cooperation with LAFC Football Club to develop. This is a little ominous, right? The cooperation with LAFC Football Club gives us a chance to develop talent internationally. Let's see if they said the same exact shit in this one. Kinda. A little bit. This is a unique alliance between two historic teams at the forefront of youth development. A little bit, right? How many clubs affiliation does Bayern have? Also Tigres. Yeah, I would have mentioned Tigres, but I stuck with like just United States. I don't know why I did that. They kind of said the same thing, right? But their focus is developmentally. Are they going to announce that there's any, like... Oh, this is an old picture. Are they going to say, like, they're going to open camps or anything? A little bit, right? Right here. In the future, we will be able to offer young players a career path that is better tailored towards them. I'm guessing that means they're going to, like, start having camps there. Did they say anything about that, like, here? They kind of said the same shit. And, like, really, they kind of all do. But this, I think didn't really work. I think it worked in Dallas's favor, because I do think Bayern... I do think you did see, like, a big peak in development with FC Dallas when Bayern jumped on, because Dallas was like, oh, shit, we gotta, like, really take this seriously. I don't think it worked for Bayern. I'm gonna be 100% honest with you guys. I didn't even know this happened. Did anyone in chat know this existed? There is not a lick. Let me even see. Is there anything? It's all like the launch. That's the only shit there is. There's fucking nothing. Yeah, there's absolutely nothing. And this is kind of like Pepe, I think, when Dallas played hardball with Pepe and Bayern, I think that's when they said that they had enough. Let's see if there's a single transfer from Wolfsburg. Nothing. So, I think it's safe to say, what? What is the partnership? What did they say that they're going to partner with? We have high hopes for this integral partnership with the MLS club. We lend our expertise in all areas. We can learn a lot about U.S. clubs and how they're structured, ? I was able to experience firsthand how... Oh, yeah, this is a bunch of horse shit. There's no developmental academy or anything. I think they're just friends. Although, they did say... Oh, no, they didn't say that the women's team was getting partnered. So this really is just a technical partnership. I mean... Are those, like... What? I would love to have an interview with someone. Maybe we could, like, hit up Lutz. Do you think Lutz would be on the show ever? I would love to hear about how these technical partnerships work, because on the outside looking in, it looks like nothing's going on, right? Wolfsburg and Chattanooga, I don't really know if this is like an actual partnership. Oh, they support the women's team, which is good. And I think it's going to take a little bit to start seeing the results of that. But they're on their shirt, which is so weird to have a club as the shirt sponsor for a club. That's really weird. But they don't even mention that Wolfsburg is a partner with Orlando City. So I think nobody knew that ever happened. Maybe it's not even real. Maybe it's an April Fool's joke. But I mean, I think this is one that remains to be seen, because I think it's like, I think when you are actually, let's look. Oh yeah, okay. So this is kind of working. When was this? It doesn't say. But they did a camp. Holy shit, is it expensive? Is that expensive? I guess that's... Oh, it's a 3-day camp, though. That is kind of expensive for a 3-day camp, right? 8 days ago, they had something about the partnership. Oops. I guess you saw that. Yeah, I mean... Oh, they're doing... Okay, so they are doing... They're doing a lot. This is working, I think. That's so weird that they would be, like, so invested with Chattanooga, but not Orlando City. I have no concept of pay to play in the U.S. I'm going to guess it's expensive. But they're doing... Let's read more a little bit about this. It'll focus on 3 different areas: training, mentoring, and education. Wolfsburg has sent a trainer to run a soccer camp twice a year for 10 weeks, in which 30 girls from socially disadvantaged communities can participate for free. Wow! They're actually doing something here, huh? In the summer, there's a training program. They're going to help relaunch the Chattanooga women's team. This is probably the best partnership out of all of them. So we have one example of it working. This one's a little bit more personal to me, for unbiased reasons, of course. Fuck this guy, but what did they say for this? This is the newest partnership outside of Bayern and LAFC. To create the most sophisticated opportunities in terms of player development, compensation, whatever that fucking means, and commercial approaches. Now, I will say, they did do sweet steaks. They did do a sweepstakes where someone... Where is it? Okay, I don't know where it is. But they did do, like, a competition. Trip, maybe? Maybe that will get it to show up. They did do this. So they did like a fan competition with the Red Stars. And my friend won, who is an amazing, amazing person. But they got to go to this because they, like, you basically had to, like, show how much of a fan you are of the Red Stars. So they have a partnership with that. And then I think Tierna Davidson practiced with Wolfsburg, like, immediately when this came out. So it's, like, kind of in the works. I'm interested to see... this is the first one that mentions, like, compensation and commercial approaches, whatever the fuck that means. So I'm interested to see how this one grows and what that exactly means. And if this guy's gonna fucking leave the Red Stars. Frankfurt forward Madison. I know they did a virtual clinic. Although, what I am surprised by, I might be wrong, but the pipeline for women's team through affiliation seems like the sweeter fruit for Germany. Yeah, I would think that, like, women's partnerships, like, for men's soccer, like, a technical partnership doesn't really mean shit. For a women's team, that could mean a lot, right? There needs to be better women's development in the U.S. And, like, Germany's got that kind of figured out. Like, I think a technical partnership, if I read that in a PR release for, like, the Red Stars, that would mean way more than, like, whatever fuck Cincinnati and Hoffenheim or whatever fuck Wolfsburg and Orlando City are doing. I know I saw that these two had a camp at some point. Yeah, so they had a, is that it? It doesn't say anything about Frank. Oh, no, there it is. Okay. I guess 250 pre-standard. So they do have something. Oh, and there's the coaches symposium this year involving Eintracht Frankfurt. I was going to say it's so weird that, like, Frankfurt hasn't had a friendly against Madison. And it doesn't look like they're going to have it this year because Kaiserslautern's playing in Minnesota. Really, whoever's playing in Minnesota plays Madison. But they're doing stuff, right? They have a youth camp this year that you could register for right now. Are Frankfurt doing a U.S. tour? I don't think they announced it. Okay. Come on, man. I saw that there were more teams ready to do this. I don't know if they announced it yet. And as you saw with, like, Dortmund, they just announced that shit in the summer. What? Like, in 3 months, there's going to be their first friendly. They still haven't even announced all the places on the tour yet. So I'm guessing as we get closer to the end of the season that we'll start seeing that more. I haven't heard anything about Frankfurt doing a U.S. tour. But, I mean, I think even from this very up to... Oh, wait, that's when it was announced. I think we can say from this very updated page here in 2023 that this is working. And, like, I think this is really important, too, for the growth of Madison. And then we have this one. We have this partnership. I don't know what the fuck this is for. I don't know what they were thinking here. Let's, like, read... I didn't actually read the press release. Our close collaboration with Eintracht Frankfurt will give us a familiar connection between the Panthers brand and German sports fans and help grow our fan base across the country. What? Events like our watch party. Yeah, it's certainly unique. I will give them that. That is certainly a unique watch party. Is there anything else? I guess this is more to grow football in Germany because they are trying to, like, increase football in Germany, I think. With, like, even the game, the NFL game that was in Munich. I think this is more one-sided for, like, like Eintracht Frankfurt's kind of taking the team for Germany, like kind of taking the blow for Germany. We're running out on time here, so I'm gonna go a little fast. Dortmund's in a collaboration with themselves. They kind of announced that they had a partner with Youth International. Oh wait, is this the same? I think it is. Never mind. But they did a partnership with this, and like we're just gonna put these three together. Schalke, Hertha, and I guess Dortmund have an interesting relationship with this thing, whatever the fuck it is. It seems like it's like what's the football American Football Academy? What are they called again? IMG. If you don't know what IMG is, it's like this like program that you send your kids to, and like the academy like tries to make it seem like they're gonna be like destined to go to the pros and all of this shit, right? I think they folded maybe, and I'm guessing that's the case. I guess it's a little early for football. There's kind of like the same thing with this, right? Like what we do. They like kind of try to promise that like you'll be able to like train with the best people, and like, oh, we have all these players in these high places, like what like you could play with Schalke, you could play with Hertha Berlin, like you could give your child the best possible pathway, like proven pathway. Come on, bro. And so I clicked on the alumni page. I don't know who any of these people are. Yeah. I don't really know if this is like proven yet, right? Yeah, they have two people. They have Ty Walker on here twice too. But oh, this is like the places people have gotten trials at. Come on, man. You have to apply too. So you can't even see how much it is, I don't think. It's free to apply though. That's cool, I guess. Do they have anything about how much it's going to be? No. So they don't really. If you have to ask, you can't afford it. Yeah, I can't imagine this is cheap. They have scholarships. I think this shit's gross. What is this? They did a whole thing about someone who did a trial with Hertha Berlin. I find stuff like this really nasty. I know it says, like if you go down here, like, and you say, where'd it go? Will I become a professional footballer after my year in Europe? There's no doubt that by taking this, like, they don't say no. They say, like, however, even the best athletes don't reach the top. But they're still kind of like, look at all the shit that, look at where all these, like, the trials people have been. Like, you don't want to fucking have your kid not have these trials, right? You want to put them in the best possible situation. I don't know, man. I think this is really gross. So I'm going to say nasty, nasty, nasty. And Stuttgart, this is also pretty new, but they partnership with themselves. The German Academy Kicker Soccer Club. They're trying to work themselves into the U.S. market, and I don't know if it's going to work or not, but I don't know. that was 50 Plus Donor Investigates. There should be other 50 Plus Donor Investigates things that go on across the year. People in this stick. I will give them one thing. I think I saw they've only been around for 3 years. I think they've only been around for 3 years, which I guess kind of works for the Academy thing. They even partner with IMG. There we go. Ladies and gentlemen, we've done it. We cracked the code. This is just IMC, but for fucking soccer, which people have IMC shit. One of the kids that went through is killing it in North. And that's good, too, right? This kid looks hot as shit. Most of the kids are from Texas, and that doesn't surprise me, and I think that goes back to, like, the Bayern stuff. I think this stuff doesn't happen without the Bayern partnership. Schalke also had a partnership with Pittsburgh Riverhounds. I didn't find that. Oh, shit. When the fuck are they going to talk about this? Oh, you know what? If you look at this, right? And you look at this date, and then you look at this, 3 years of that, 2020, I think Schalke has moved on. I don't know. It doesn't look like they still do partnerships or like a camp or anything. Okay, fuck it. Alright, well that was 50 Plus Donor Investigates. I hope you learned a lot about partnerships. I think I did. And I think we realized this thing's kind of weird. This thing's a little strange. Wait, what? Oh. I want to see what highlight video link. What other, like, a reference coach? They ask what kind of passport you have. I guess they kind of need that since you're going to Germany. I kind of... Do we make a fake application? I just want to see what the response is. But I think they're going to be like... I think we can't, like, make up a club or anything. Could we? No. Do we? I don't know. I think I could get in contact with a player from it. If you could do that, that would be fucking incredible. But, I mean, they're looking for people that are born in 2005. So, God. Would they even be able to... Like, can you interview a 17-year-old without their parents' permission? I would think not. Right? 2005. Yeah. Oh, they're 18. Okay. All right. I'm gonna stop that because I hope that was interesting. I thought it was pretty interesting connecting the dots with all this stuff, just seeing all the PR crap. I thought it was a good show. We're gonna be back next week. Next week, we're gonna figure out what we're gonna do next week. We still have to do Jeopardy. I haven't forgot about that. Maybe we'll do a club profile next week. But have fun this weekend. Keep me updated. Yeah, I'm going to start making 50 Plus Donor flags very soon. I just need to get paid. And yes, I am... Oh, I'm going to start doing votes for Watch Party. A weekend watch party. It's been forever since we did a weekend watch party. So I'm going to get some feedback on that. And then there will be a... what is it? A Pacific Coast / Western Hemisphere minded show in the future. Shout out to Hales who told me Pacific people don't really get a good time to watch this. We will do that one of these days. 1:38 a.m. Oh man. Anyway, I'm going to jump off because we've gone over. But I'll see you guys next week. And keep an eye out on the Twitter. We'll do a poll about which watch party we'll want to do. But hopefully when winter's over.
50 plus Döner. Unparteiisch, faktisch korrekt, moralisch integer.